It is with great honor and deep humility that I stand before you this morning to address the official opening of the first Advisory Council of the East African Communication Organization. We are delighted to convene this inaugural Advisory Council in the vibrant and hospitable city of Juba, a place whose warmth and dynamism offer a fitting setting for this historic gathering. This is a moment of great significance for EACO and the entire East African region. On behalf of East African Communication Organization and in my personal capacity, I wish to convey our profound appreciation to our guest of honor, Honorable Michael Makwei Reth, for taking time from your demanding schedule to be with us today. Your presence is more than ceremonial. It is a clear affirmation of South Sudan's unwavering commitment to regional cooperation and to our shared aspiration of shaping the future of the East African region through digital transformation. Allow me to express in a very special way our heartfelt gratitude to Honorable Chris Baryomunsi, Minister of ICT and National Guidance of the Republic of Uganda. Honorable Baryomunsi, your presence here as the only minister from the East African region to respond personally to our invitation is not only commendable but deeply symbolic. It underscores Uganda's dedication to the EACO vision and the broader digital transformation agenda for East Africa. Equally, we are truly grateful to the ministers and deputy ministers and senior officials from the government of South Sudan who have honored us with their presence. Your participation adds strength to this occasion and demonstrates South Sudan's strong political will to advance the communication sector at both national and regional level. I also wish to extend our sincere appreciation to the Republic of Sudan, but this time specifically to our gracious host, the National Communication Authority, NCA, for the warmth, hospitality, and excellent arrangement since our arrival here in Juba. I take this opportunity to recognize and thank our esteemed partners and collaborators from International Telecommunication Union, East African Community, World Bank, SPIDER, AFLAD, JMAT, and other organizations who have accepted our invitation to be part of this important forum. Your engagement and continued partnership are crucial to the success of your commission. Furthermore, I would like to recognize the government of Rwanda, particularly Rwanda Utility Regulatory Authority, for hosting EACO Secretariat in Kigali. Chairman and the board member of EACO for their strategic leadership and unwavering support. The Assembly and Working Group chairpersons whose dedication and follow-up on decisions made during our assemblies continue to drive results. The organizing team for outstanding job putting this event together. And our masters of ceremony, I'm not sure if the English is correct there, for their professionalism and energy in guiding today's program. Guests of honor and distinguished guests, the East African Communication Organization is a regional platform uniting ICT regulators, telecommunications, broadcasting, and post operators and ICT institutions from the 7 EAC partner states. Since its establishment in 2012 and with the Secretariat hosted in Kigali by the government of Rwanda, EACO has worked to foster regional cooperation and harmonize the communications ecosystem. In accordance with Article 13 of EACO Constitution, the Advisory Council comprises EACO members and partners and serves as a forum to receive and adopt reports from assemblies and to generate recommendations for the board's consideration and approval. The theme of this year's Advisory Council, Shaping the Future of the East African Region Through Digital Transformation, could not be more timely, as the world rapidly evolves under the influence of disruptive technologies such as artificial intelligence, 5G, robotics. East Africa must ensure it is not left behind. This council provides a vital opportunity for stakeholders to exchange ideas, share knowledge, and mobilize collective action to bridge existing gaps in our digital transformation efforts. It is our expectation that all stakeholders, regulators, operators, broadcasters, postal entities, academia, and development partners will make most of this platform and take back key insights to inspire progress at national and regional level. Guests of honor, distinguished guests, this Advisory Council, formerly known as the EACO Congress, is the result of collective efforts and commitment to realizing the resolution of the 24th EACO Congress and the extraordinary Congress held thereafter. The agenda before us addresses in detail the outcomes of our 4 assemblies and focuses on cross-cutting strategic issues in the telecommunications sector, broadcasting, and postal sector. Since the establishment of its secretariat, EACO has partnered with the national, regional, and international stakeholders to promote innovation, capacity building, and policy harmonization. Our contribution to global ICT discourse through engagement with African Telecommunication Union, African Union, Pan-African Postal Union, Universal Postal Union, International Telecommunication Union, and COMESA, and others have elevated EACO as a trusted and respected voice in ICT development. Notable achievements over the past 13 years include the development of numerous policies, strategies, framework, guidelines, and standards across the communication sector. More specific, the formulation of regional e-waste management strategy, the coordination of cross-border frequency harmonization, the Smartphone for All initiative piloted in Rwanda, the harmonization of East African regional communication sector statistics, including the public unveiling of the report of ICT data, an initiative that continues today as we will soon review progress for year 2024. Guests of honor, distinguished guests, these accomplishments have not come without challenge. EACO, like many regional bodies, faces key constraints, delays and shortfalls in annual membership contribution, which limit operational capacity, non-implementation of agreed frameworks and policies at the national level, inadequate financial resources for large-scale projects and research, and low participation by some operators in EACO program and meeting. To address these issues, to address this structural limitation, EACO is actively pursuing an upgrade of its status with the East African community, from observer to a formal institution mandated to coordinate the regional communication sector. This will ensure that decisions of EACO are fully implemented and aligned with the regional integration efforts. This approach mirrors structure in other regional, such as African Telecommunication Union and Pan-African Postal Union for Africa Union, CRASA in the SADC area, WATRA in ECOWAS, all of which operate as official institutions coordinating ICT development. We are encouraged by the fact that our application is currently under consideration by the East African Community Council of Ministers, and we deeply appreciate the support received from various stakeholders, including all the 8 partner states. Guests of honor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, with more than 70 delegates from across East Africa and beyond, more than 5 Director General of ICT regulators in the region, and the level of presence of distinguished ministers in this room, makes this the biggest, well-attended, and most advanced event I've ever seen in my past years in EACO. And for that, NCA, more round of applause for NCA, please. Thank you. As I conclude, I wish to reiterate my confidence in the success of this first Advisory Council. With the wealth of knowledge from our assemblies, chairpersons, experts, and the distinguished panelists in today's high-level roundtable, I am certain that our deliberation will be fruitful and our resolution impactful. Let us seize this opportunity to reaffirm our collective responsibility to lead East Africa into a new era of inclusive, sustainable, and secure digital transformation. With these remarks, I wish you all engaging discussion and lasting partnership. Asante sana, merci beaucoup, thank you, shukran jaziran.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ali Simba. Thank you for thank you very much, Dr. Ali Simba. Thank you for Thank you very much, Dr. Alice Simba. Thank you for speech. It
in our ability to move forward as a region. South Sudan has been active member of EACO since 2016, and our engagement has steadily deepened. Our engineers, legal and regulators, expert, policy analysts, human resource professional, and finance officers have advanced through active participation in the working group, serving as a rapporteur, task lead, vice chair, and the chair, with the different EACO assemblies and working group. This experience, we approach EACO activities through profound sense of belonging with appreciation for tangible benefit it is bringing to our regulator and policy landscape. We are fully committed and aligning national priorities with the EACO strategic direction, ensuring that no country left behind in digital era. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, the capacity building is a backbone of excellence in our sector. Through EACO and collaboration with the partners such as African Communication Union and International Telecommunication Union, we continue to improve our technical capacity, policy design, and digital skill of our youth and workforce. We are encouraging more investment in learning, training, and technology transfer. We also share the vision that EACO should evolve into a specialized institution within East Africa community with great authority. The sustainability influence this evolution in a critical we are to effectively respond to emerging issues such as AI, digital finance, 5G, and cybersecurity. On South Sudan digital journey, the independent South Sudan began with a minimal digital infrastructure, human capital. In 2020, our government launched a national digital infrastructure initiative collaboration with MNOs, and with the support from Universal Service Access Fund. In 2021, this effort has brought connectivity to nearly 1 million citizens. Our goal is to continue this effort, reaching 5 million unconnected citizens by constructing 200 public funded towers. This model of the public-private collaboration has proven effective and we remain committed to improve our investment climate, streamlining license and promoting private sector participation. On the data protection, security, and institutional reform, we are in final stage in acting National Data Protection and Privacy Bill formed by the global and national best practice. This legislation and central build public trust to secure e-commerce and ensure investor confidence. The National Communication Authority operationalized the National Computer Incident Response Team, and it has led a nationwide customer and digital literacy campaign with 70% our population under 30 and women forming half of demographic. These efforts are vital to our digital future. Our .ss domain gradually gaining uptake, and we are on course to to commission our Internet Exchange Point and National Data Center. The key component, reduce host costs, encourage a local content, and strengthen the cybersecurity. On the policy, regulation, and innovation, in 2022, we published South Sudan First National Table, frequency allocation aligned with the World Radio Conference 19, later upgrade to reflect World Radio 23. Our allocation with the South Sudan Media Authority within EACO Broadcasting Working Group continue to strengthen our regulator alignment. On EWES, we have established National Steering Committee that has drafted a comprehensive guidance in partnership with industry stakeholders. This initiative demonstrates our resolve to manage digital EWES responsibly. We are also recognizing the role of the Postal Service and Courier Service supporting e-government accordingly. We are developing national addressing system and working closely with Department of Nationality, Passport to streamline identity verification and SIM card registration process. On the strategic movement forward, allow me to share 5-point roadmap that will guide the National Communication Authority strategic direction over next periods. Reinforcing South Sudan role in EACO through active participation, fulfillment of membership obligation. Expanding rural connectivity through continued deployment of the public fund tower, reaching unserved population. Finalizing implementation data protection legislation to secure user data and promote digital trust. Scaling digital skill, promoting targeting youth and women with the focus coding, network administration, and digital entrepreneur. Commissioning Internet Exchange Point and data center to boost the local content, reduce the bandwidth costs, and drive innovation. In conclusion, let these assemblies reinforce our shared purpose to connect, to harmonize, and to empower our people through digital transformation. South Sudan remains steadfast its commitment to EACO and to support transformation of the EACO into a specialized digital agency of the East Africa community. With the harmonization, spectrum planning, numbering system, and policy framework, we can reduce roaming tariff, enable across the border connectivity, and strengthen regional resilience. To all of our experts gathered here today, we are discussing our decision over the past 2 days, and the next 3 days will influence the future of over 200 million East African. Approach your deliberation, diligence, and vision for tomorrow digital economy. And finally, while you are here with us, we invited you to experience South Sudan hospitality firsthand. May you leave this gathering not only with a strengthened cooperation, but also with renewed appreciation of opportunity that lie ahead. Thank you. Shukran jazilan. Asante Morsi. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Geert Kon. Now it's time to invite Dr. Samuel Muhizi, the chairperson of the East Africa Communications Organization. Please, you're welcome. Karibu sana.
Merci beaucoup. Our guest of honor, Honorable Michael Makueluth, Minister for Information, Communication Technology and the Postal Services of the Republic of South Sudan. Our guest, Chris Baryomusi, Minister of ICT and the National Guidance Republic of Uganda. Allow me to ride on the protocol of my previous speakers. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's an immense pleasure to warmly welcome all esteemed guests and the fellow partners and the stakeholders to this official opening of the First Advisory Council and the 13th Assemblies Week. On behalf of EACO and on my behalf, I am grateful to the Republic of South Sudan for hosting this major event for the East African region, where different stakeholders are brought together to deliberate on the way forward in regard to communication sector matters. Since we are here in Juba, we have benefited from excellent hospitality. We really feel like we are home. Thank you very much. We sincerely thank the preparatory committees from both the NCA and the EACO Secretariat for the excellent professionalism. Our guests of honor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as you may be aware, the broad objective of EACO is to strengthen and promote cooperation in the development and the provision of postal, telecommunications, and broadcasting services in the EAC. The theme for this week of the First Advisory Council and 20th Assemblies is shaping the future of East African region through digital transformation. This theme is in line with EACO's vision of a digitally empowered East African region. Our guests of honor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as we leverage technology to create new opportunities, drive efficiency, and foster innovation in the region, we need to drive the uptake of emerging technologies such as Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, edge computing, 5G, among others. These advancements call for close attention to cybersecurity that will protect against evolving threats while ensuring confidentiality, integrity, and availability of digital services. The uptake of these technologies presents a number of challenges and opportunities, which include skills gaps, change management to ensure digital transformation, regulatory compliance, and infrastructure upgrades. The event we are having this week will provide an opportunity for policy, regulatory, and industry experts from the region and beyond to delve deep into these issues during discussions, and will propose a good way forward. Our guests of honor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to extend my gratitude to you all protocol observed. Your presence here today demonstrates your commitment to the growth and the development of our communication sector. Let us work together to harness the opportunities and address the challenges facing our sector. Let us share our expertise, resources, and ideas to create a brighter future for our citizens. Once again, I want to particularly thank our guest of honor, Honorable Minister, our host, National Communication Authority of South Sudan, and the DG Gift, to whom I will hand over the responsibility and the chairmanship of EACO. And thank you to all delegates here present. Thank you Merci beaucoup. Asante sana. Shukran.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think my role is coming to an end. Our Honorable Minister, delegates, our distinguished visitors, it is now my honor to welcome the Undersecretary of the Ministry of Information, Communication, Communication and the Postal Services to please take over and do the needful of inviting the rest. Shukran. Honorable Gatworth, you are most welcome. A round of applause to our Undersecretary of the telecommunication sector, a very important sector in our communication arena. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Levania and her colleague. I'm here not to have a speech or a remark, but let me say, Honorable Minister of ICT and Postal Services, Justice Michael McQuailers, the guest of honor of this event. All the protocol observed, I add up my recognition to my previous speakers, to all our national ministers, our guests, colleagues, friends, and brothers from member states of EACO. This is an event of the first Advisory Council and the 30th Annual Assembly of EACO. For the first time in South Sudan, we are very proud to have this event in South Sudan and in Juba particularly. It is an event which is, to me, is a call for expertise, where we come together for regional integration, regional cooperation, and for us, I said before that no one should be left behind, that is, everybody in the region will not be left behind, and that we are here to shape the policies, we are here to shape our regulatory activities, and we are here to get a very good resolution that can take our country into digital transformation, which is meant for digital economy for the region and our country. I'm here only to come and call upon our Deputy Minister, Honorable David Yao Yao, the Deputy Minister for the Ministry of Information, Communication, Technology and Postal Services. Honorable, you are highly welcome to give your remarks. And let's give an applause.
Thank you, Engineer Gatkos, for the few chance. I told there's a dancing group that they wanted to take podium for a while. Then from there we'll pick up. I don't know whether you are ready to pick it up, please, from us.
Yes, we will have a short interlude with the Pojulu dancers and the Nuer dancers, and then Your Honorable, you'll be right back.
You're most welcome, please.
So the Pojulu dancers, may you come in. Team, let's have the music playing.
Let them salam ta kunkunan angiro nasu gam nas para hanin piyom talela ana dera no para ta kungo dursunyu de group ta Pojulu dancers anna gijala beta unkuru sawa jaman to unsatfi jaman ta lip kan jake da kelan na kulu ala busawa. Okay, DJ
One of the beautiful dancers here in South Sudan as they get off the stage. Thank you so much to the Pojulu group. Next up, we have the Nuer dancers who will also give us a short interlude. Our Nuer dancers.
Yeah.
round of applause. This is one of the dances here in South Sudan, and we're excited to share more with you later. Allow me to welcome back Dr. Labanya so we can move forward with the rest of our program.
Our honorable guest of honor, Honorable Minister of MICT, please, we had a little bit of a hiccup in the program. It's now time for me, I will not go back on the podium, but to request to invite Mr. Robert Acheng, representative of the Secretary General of the East African Community. A round of applause for the Nuer dancing troupe as we invite Mr. Robert Acheng, the representative of the Secretary General of the East African Community. You're welcome, sir. I had already vacated the podium to the Deputy Minister. I won't be going back up again.
Thank you. Guest of honor, Honorable Michael McQuailweth, Minister of ICT and Postal Services, Republic of South Sudan. Honorable Chris Baryomunsi, Minister of ICT and National Guidance, Republic of Uganda. Honorable Ministers here present, Honorable Members of Parliament here present, Madam Mavis Mangaunidze, representative of the Secretary General of the International Telecommunications Union, Honorable Chief Executive Officers of National Regulatory Authorities of EAC partner states or their duly appointed representatives here present, distinguished delegates, all protocols observed, good morning. May I, on behalf of the EAC Secretary General, Honorable Veronica Mweni Nduva, convey to you warm greetings from the EAC headquarters in Arusha, Tanzania. It is my firm belief that we all had safe travels to Juba, and since our arrivals, we have enjoyed the hospitality and usual courtesies from the people and government of South Sudan. Guests of honor, honorable ministers, distinguished delegates, allow me to say a word of appreciation to the various people that helped realize this occasion. I begin by thanking you, guests of honor, and indeed all honorable ministers, for finding time in your pressing schedules to grace this occasion. Thank you very much, honorable ministers. We duly appreciate. A word of appreciation also goes to the National Communications Authority from South Sudan, the entire government of South Sudan, and indeed the people of South Sudan for their hospitality and courtesy since your arrival. May I also appreciate EACO Secretariat and the entire EACO membership for literally burning the midnight oil in order to realize that this occasion is a success. And I commend all of you, distinguished delegates, for attending this event. Your presence is the essence of the conference. Guests of honor, honorable ministers, distinguished delegates, as you may be aware, the goal of the EAC integration agenda is to build a community of peace, unity, and shared prosperity. Accordingly, Article 7, subsection 1D of the EAC Treaty provides that the integration process shall be a multi-stakeholder enterprise, requiring the contributions of all governments, the private sector, and the civil society. Therefore, as a civil society organization for the ICT sector, EACO's role in the EAC integration process is not optional. It is imperative. So the question that we have, that we always have, is not whether EACO should be there or whether it should participate in the EAC integration process. It has to be there because that is a requirement of the treaty. The question that remains is just how well has EACO performed in participating in the EAC process, and how well can we work together to improve that participation. Guests of honor, honorable ministers, distinguished delegates, I can confirm that since its establishment a couple of decades ago, EACO has performed exceptionally well in its role as a vital player in the EAC integration process. EACO has brought together public and private sector ICT stakeholders in the EAC partnerships to share knowledge and experiences on topical issues of ICT development. EACO also contributes to all these partnerships to adopt common approaches and solutions in ICT development challenges. At the EAC Secretariat, we applaud EACO for its accomplishment. We also cherish the cooperation framework that has been established between the EAC Secretariat and EACO over the years. However, I may hasten to add that there is plenty of room for improving the EAC-EACO cooperation, and we invite EACO membership for further engagements on this matter. Guests of honor, honorable ministers, distinguished delegates, last but not least, allow me to provide an update on EACO's application to be admitted as an institution of the community. During the 47th meeting of the EAC Council of Ministers, which concluded on 25th April 2025, that is this year, the Council suspended the consideration of all such applications pending the development and adoption of an appropriate evaluation criteria. You may note that over the years, the EAC has been receiving numerous applications from a number of organizations seeking admission as institutions of the community. In fact, the latest applicants was the applications by IREA, that is Energy Regulator Association of East Africa, based in Arusha, and the East African Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency, based at the University of Makerere in Kampala. Then, considering all these applications that the community received, the Council, in its wisdom, considered that it would be prudent to establish a standard framework for considering such applications. It is expected that this framework is expected to be completed by November this year, and it's upon the completion of that framework that the consideration of EACO's application to join the community will resume. We commit to working with EACO through the process to ensure that that process is completed. Guests of honor, honorable ministers, distinguished delegates, thank you for the opportunity to address this auspicious gathering, and also thank you for giving us the opportunity to attend the conference. The EAC Secretariat pledges its continued cooperation with EACO, and we look forward to receiving and acting on the outcomes of this conference. Asanteni, merci beaucoup. Thank you.
Shukran, thank you very much. Thank you, we are very grateful. It's now time for me to also invite Ms. Mavis Maunganizi, the representative of the Secretary General of the ITU. Please, a round of applause for the representative of the Secretary General of the ITU. Please, you're most welcome.
Guest of honor, Honorable Michael Luthi, Honorable Ministers of ICTs, and all Honorable Ministers here present, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to ride on protocols already observed. Good morning. It is a great honor to address you today on behalf of Ms. Doreen Martin, the Secretary General of the International Telecommunication Union. She sends her warmest regards and sincere apologies for not being able to join you in person due to prior commitments. She has asked me to convey her deepest appreciation for the kind invitation extended by the EACO and the National Communication Authority of South Sudan to participate in this landmark gathering. This 30th Annual Assembly and the inaugural Advisory Council meeting marks a significant milestone in the journey of regional cooperation and digital transformation in East Africa. The theme, Shaping the Future of the East African region through digital transformation, could not be more timely or more vital. Guests of honor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the East African community and in EACO in general have had very good relations with the ITU. In the past few years, this has been demonstrated through hosting of some of our major events to note the WTDC 2022 in Rwanda, GSR 24 in Uganda, AFRI-RDF 25 and AFRI-RPM 25 in Kenya. ITU is indeed very grateful for such cooperation. As ITU celebrates its 160th anniversary this year, we are reminded of our enduring mission to connect the world. From the earliest days of the telegraph to today's era of artificial intelligence and quantum computing, ITU has remained at the forefront of technological evolution. And we are proud to work hand in hand with regional organizations like EACO to ensure that no one is left behind. Across East Africa, we're witnessing remarkable progress. From Kenya's bottom-up economic transformation agenda to Rwanda, government's continued efforts to lead with the Smart Rwanda Master Plan. We have also seen great works in Uganda through the National Broadband Policy and the Digital Uganda Vision, where as ITU we have worked with them for some years in ensuring that this vision is attained. We have also seen great works in Tanzania through the National ICT Backbone Project, and in Burundi, efforts are also underway to expand fiber optic infrastructure. South Sudan, our gracious host, is making commendable efforts to rebuild and modernize its ICT sector. The National Communication Authority is working to establish a regulatory framework that supports investment, innovation, and inclusive access. And ITU continues to work with them through this. These examples reflect the spirit of collaboration and innovation that defines the East African region. They also underscore the importance of EACO's role in harmonizing policies, sharing best practices, and driving collective progress. At the country level, ITU is actively supporting member states through tailored projects from broadband mapping, digital skills development, emergency telecommunications, regulatory capacity building. And at the sub-regional level, we are working with EACO and other partners to promote spectrum harmonization, cybersecurity framework, digital financial services frameworks, and digital inclusion strategies. Globally, our work across the 3 ITU sectors, that is radio communication, standardization, and development, continue to shape the digital landscape. We are advancing standards for new technologies, AI, 5G, 6G, and the Internet of Things, while also championing universal and meaningful connectivity. The ITU Regional Office for Africa and the area offices play a crucial role in supporting the work of EACO in the sub-region. They provide technical assistance, capacity building, and policy guidance to ensure that regional initiatives are effectively implemented and aligned with global standards. But we must remain vigilant. The pace of technological change is accelerating. Emerging technologies such as AI offer immense promise, but they also raise complex ethical, regulatory, and societal questions. We must ensure that these technologies are developed and deployed responsibly, inclusively, and securely. Digital inclusion remains a top priority. Women, persons with disabilities, rural communities, and marginalized groups must be at the center of our digital strategies. Connectivity alone is not enough. We must ensure that it is affordable, accessible, and empowering for all. Infrastructure remains the backbone of digital transformation. Investment in cross-border fiber networks, data centers, and resilient power systems are essential. Equally important is the policy and regulatory environment. Policymakers must be equipped to navigate the complexities of the digital ecosystem and create conditions that foster innovation, competition, and investment. Looking ahead, I urge all EACO member states to actively engage in the upcoming World Telecommunication Development Conference, which is in November this year, and the World Radio Communication Conference. These global platforms are critical for shaping the future of ICTs and ensuring that Africa's voice is heard. I also invite you to participate in other upcoming ITU events that are relevant for the region, including the Global Symposium for Regulators, the IA for Good Summit, and regional preparatory meetings for the Plenipotentiary Conference. Guests of honor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in closing, let me reaffirm ITU's unwavering commitment to supporting East Africa's digital journey. Together, we can build a region that is digitally empowered, economically vibrant, and socially inclusive. Let us continue to harness the power of communication to bring people together, to bridge divides, and to shape a future where everyone, everywhere can thrive. As we embark on the discussions during these meetings, I challenge this esteemed gathering to ensure that outcomes of our meetings are practical, well thought out, and impactful. The decisions we make here today will have a lasting impact on the future of our region. Let us be bold, innovative, and committed to driving meaningful change. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for those amazing remarks. And before we move forward, we'd also like to recognize the presence of the Vice Chancellor for the University of Juba, and that is Professor Robert Mayom. Thank you so much for being part of the program today. We also would like to recognize the Undersecretary for Information, and that is Honorable Mayuen Bulabek. Thank you so much. We would also like to recognize the Director General of Civil Registration, Nationality, Passport, and Immigration, and that is Major General Elia Costa Faustino. Thank you for coming. We'd also like to recognize the former Minister of Telecommunication and currently a Member of Parliament in the Transitional National Legislative Assembly, and that is Honorable Rebecca Joshua Okwachi. Welcome and thank you so much for honoring our invitation. Walai badende, asan gibela na lagbat protokol batal, kede maja ajede, kede maja mula harakat baden, Malaysia kuba. Dia anak gunu sebeara biasana, dia gunu selene bezbarao. Okay, all right. Now also let us give a round of applause to our sponsors who have made this event possible. We would like to hugely recognize Digital, a South Sudanese telecom company. It's truly Junubia. Digital has a lot of amazing packages, including the Roomba. So now the Roomba is what I love to use Monday to Thursday when we are getting internet packages as well. Roomba is an awesome one from Digital. Afriland Fast Bank, a South Sudanese bank as well. Yes, easy banking made with Afriland Fast Bank. They have WhatsApp banking. And I think this is what we talk about, digital transformation, using the available technology to ease our economy. Thank you so much, Afriland Fast Bank, for your amazing support. We also do have Zain, a wonderful world. And now with Zain, there are a lot of packages they do provide as well, but I will particularly talk about their roaming services. I think when you travel anywhere out of South Sudan, you definitely will still remain connected to Zain. And so many other packages. They all have their booth outside. In case you get yourself a SIM card for free, they'll all give it out to you outside there. We also do have Liquid and Moya providing for us internet, affordable internet in South Sudan, and they're also providing internet here for this General Assemblies and also the First Advisory Council. So throughout this week, internet is provided by Moya and Liquid Telecom. So the QR code is up on our left-hand side. You can just scan it and get connected to internet for free the whole week. Thank you so much, Liquid Telecom and Muye. And of course, finally, MTN South Sudan. Thank you so much for also being part of this. MTN has Momo, and I think you can just move with your mobile phone anywhere, anytime, and do transactions with MTN Momo. Thank you so much, MTN, for your support. Yes. And that's it with our sponsors, and to each and every one of you, thank you so much. Now, I know earlier the Deputy Minister has been welcomed. I do not have the capacity to do that, but if I am allowed to just take the mic and officially give it back to him, because he had already been welcomed earlier. So please let us give a round of applause, and we welcome the Deputy Minister, Honorable David Yao Yao.
Thank you so much, MC or co-MC, guests of honor, Honorable Minister of Information, Communication, Technology and Postal Service, Justice Michael McQueen, representing the government of the Republic of South Sudan. In a brief, allow me to recognize the presence of Deputy Minister of Interior, General Mangarbong Leng, who is also here with us. Still has for more chances also to allow us to recognize the presence of Oliver Mori, the chairperson of a specialized committee of ICT in the National Legislative Assembly, Republic of South Sudan, is also part of the sitting. And furthermore, allow me also to recognize the presence of Professor John Akech Aprok, the former Vice Chancellor of University of Juba, is also part of our sitting. Honorable Prof, you're most welcome, and we recognize your presence or participation with us. Honorable Minister, so with us also there's a participation of Minister of Road and Bridges, Honorable Mijok Simon. You're most welcome, Honorable Minister. And then with us, we have Minister of ICT and National Guidance of Uganda also is your counterpart, is also with us here. And then the Minister of ICT and PS, yourself, Honorable Michael, you're most welcome to grace us in this particular functions. Honorable Minister, we are blessed also to have a presence of a former Minister of ICT, Honorable Rebecca Joshua Okache, is also part of our sitting here. Honorable Rebecca Joshua, you're most welcome. We really appreciate your presence. And we welcome you in a special way because you are part of this institution. And so, honorable guests of honor, it is with this immense pleasure and deep sense of honor that I stand before you to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to each and every one of you, distinguished guests, delegates, colleagues from across the East African community gathered here in Juba, South Sudan. Your presence here underscores the collective commitment we share together, advancing the crucial sector of ICT and postal services within our regions. Honorable Minister, with these few recognitions, so allow me to welcome the Minister of Road and Bridges, Honorable Mijak Simon, to have his remarks. Thank you. I think with this request, you may not have a chance to come to the podium and say the few remarks, but your presence, I think, matters most. Honorable Minister, allow me to proceed to welcome your counterpart, the Minister of ICT, Republic of Uganda, maybe to make his remarks for the audience. Honorable Chris, you are most welcome to chair us your remarks.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Our chief guest this morning, the Honorable Minister of ICT and Postal Services, Honorable Michael McQueen. I hope I pronounced the name correctly. And the other colleague ministers who are present, the senior government officials from the government of South Sudan, and the other distinguished dignitaries from the various countries that constitute the East African community, our friends from ITU, East African community, permit me to stand on the protocol already observed, because I might distort protocol since I am a guest. As introduced, my name is Chris Baryomunsi. I come from Uganda. I am the minister responsible for ICT and national guidance, the Republic of Uganda. And I told my colleagues yesterday and this morning that we Ugandans, when we are in South Sudan, we are at home. We are at home because it's just the colonial borders, which are just artificial, that distinguish Uganda and South Sudan. But basically the people of Uganda and the people of South Sudan, we are one and the same, especially northern Uganda. And therefore I feel like I am in another part of Uganda. And I want to appreciate the government and the people of South Sudan for the invitation, for the warm reception and the hospitality that you have accorded to us. All of us, particularly the team from Uganda, from yesterday when I arrived and to now. I first came from Uganda to Juba when you had just attained independence. And I have since come, but I want to appreciate the progress that the country has made in the last few years. And we wish South Sudan all the best. And I'm sure Uganda, you know Uganda is part of you, and will do everything possible to ensure that our people can continue to make progress. I would like to appreciate EACO and the good work that it's doing, and our presence here as the government of Uganda is to assure you that we remain committed and we are part of you, and we shall do everything possible to see that we succeed as a region. There is a lot going on in the world. We began this meeting with a prayer, both from the Christian leader and the Muslim leader. If I take you into the Bible for the Christians, I'm sure even for the Islam faith, what I'm going to say must also be captured in the holy books. When you read the book of Genesis in the Christian Bible, it speaks of how God took time to create all the creatures that he put on earth. And it took him 6 days. On the 7th day, he rested. But the Bible says he created man and woman, or a human being, at the end of the process of creation, and gave the human being 2 commands. The first command was, produce and fill the world. Although speaking as a public health scientist, we don't oppose God, but we advise that produce by choice, not by chance. Because we must have manageable family sizes. But the Bible tells us of that command to produce and fill the world. And indeed, producing, we have been doing that. Especially when it comes to Africa, the population continues to grow very fast. And one of the biggest drivers of that population growth is fertility. And that explains the population structure of Africa, where the biggest proportion of the population are children and young people. And that has implications for what we are discussing: communication, digital transformation. How do we provide services to these millions of young people in Africa, including here in the East African region? But there is what we call the demographic transition, and the countries have been undergoing this transition. And when you look at how the world now is shaped, there are countries that have moved towards the advanced stages of the demographic transition. That transition is defined by levels of fertility and levels of mortality, which speaks to the quality of the population. And you will find that countries which have moved through these transitions now are characterized by low fertility, low mortality, and high levels of the quality of the population. So when you look at say, the geographical north or the Western world, you will find couples and parents are producing fewer children, although they have a challenge of the aging population. Whereas when you look down south, where we are, you still see high levels of fertility, although they are starting to decline. Even the mortality rates are coming down, but appreciably the fertility is still high, mortality is still high. So we are in the earlier stages of that transition, and that also speaks the quality of the population that we lead or that we have in Africa and other related communities. So feeding the earth, we've been doing it. And now we happen to be leaders managing this population, especially in our region here in the East African community. Now, the other command that God gave, according to the Christian Bible, is that he gave an instruction to humans, to us, man and woman, to rule over whatever had been created and subdue the earth. Take charge of whatever I have created and subdue, be in charge and manage. That was another command. And if I speak as a medical scientist, there are features which we have as human beings that distinguish us from other creatures. I don't know whether there are medical doctors in the room. For instance, when you look at the human brain, both anatomically and physiologically, that is the structure and the functioning, is very different from the way other brains of other animals are. For instance, I can tell you, in terms of size, the brain of an elephant is bigger than the brain of a human being. But the wiring of the human brain is very different from the wiring of an elephant's brain. That's why a human being is able to do many things, to think, innovate, and do many things which an elephant cannot do even when its brain is very big. So we have a special brain. I don't want to go into the science of it, but it's very special. The other features are that God made a human being stand and walk on 2 feet. We call it bipedalism. We are able to stand and walk on 2 feet, and this speaks to the balance that our body has, and that has its own advantage. Then the third biological feature is that we have hands, 2 hands, that can hold instruments, tools, and these hands connect with the brain and the eyes. So these special features in a human being, if I am to connect divinity with science, is that these are some of the special tools, special features God gave us to fulfill that command of subduing the earth, taking charge of whatever had been created or has been created by God. And indeed, when you look at how the world has moved, there has also been this technological revolution where man has come up with tools to manage society. Today we speak of the fourth industrial revolution. The fourth means we have had the first, the second, the third, the fourth. In some societies we are even talking of moving to the fifth industrial revolution. And the question which comes is, where is our positioning as Africa, as the East African community, as these technological revolutions move on? The reality is we are always running very fast to catch up with the rest of the world in terms of technology advancement. So it is very important that when we gather here, we reflect on what is going on. For instance, when you look at the fourth industrial revolution, you look at the emerging technologies, artificial intelligence, robotics, the Internet of Things, supercomputing, cryptogenic technologies, nanotechnology, all these. Where are we as Africa in terms of applying these technologies in our day-to-day work? So I am happy that we are gathered here as the East African community to reflect on the progress we have registered, but also appreciate the challenges that we face, and together we work as a community to address and integrate some of these emerging technologies in order to improve the quality of life of the people within our region. We also need to look at the changing landscape in communication. When you look back, maybe 30, 40, 50 years ago, the way communication was being made, or the tools, the features, and the apparatus available then for communication has greatly changed in the last number of years. We used to talk of maybe traditional print newspapers, maybe a radio station. In Uganda, we used to have only one radio station, Radio Uganda, about 40 years ago. We used to have only one television station, Uganda Television. But today, as a minister for ICT, my executive director of Uganda Communications Commission is here, Honorable Nyombi Tembo. Maybe since I'm your minister, you can wave for people to know that we are here as Uganda. We now speak of over 300 licensed radio stations in Uganda. We speak of about 70 TV stations in Uganda. Very many print media platforms. And now with the advancement in technology, now there is a huge revolution in terms of social media communication. And that gives us an imperative to regulate. We used to have the traditional phones then. Now with the telecommunication, we have many telecom companies that have made communication much easier. So it has become much more complex in terms of the communication landscape, and creating a need for us to regulate, to have policies, to have legislations in order to harmonize all these services that we have. And we are moving as the East African community. The NRM government in Uganda stands on 4 major ideological pillars. And one of the pillars, the second pillar of our ruling party, is Pan-Africanism. We believe we cannot do it alone as Uganda. We must work with the other sisters and brothers, especially the Black Africa, and that's why we push for East African community. And therefore, we are happy to be here this morning to discuss this important subject, and I'm happy with the theme of today's and this week's discussion, shaping the future of the East African region through digital transformation. There is a huge gap in terms of digital transformation between the global north and the global south, where we are. Even when you look at the south and you look at south-south collaboration, the great Asia and the other countries, and then sub-Saharan Africa, again there is a huge divide, a huge gap. So this one compares us as Africans and as East African community, that while others move fast, for us we must run to cross this gap, this divide. And therefore I want to appreciate the technical team that has been meeting here for the last few days. And I do hope that we should be able to share the progress and the lessons we have registered in our various countries, and also be able to learn from each other. If a country has already come up with a progressive policy, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. If Uganda has a good policy, say the broadband policy, and maybe South Sudan has already developed it, maybe you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can learn from what we have gone through. Similarly, where South Sudan has made progress in an area, and maybe Kenya or Rwanda or DRC is starting the process, we should be able to learn from each other so that we move fast and run as the East African community in order to embrace digital transformation. The future is digital. I usually tell people in Uganda that I am the minister in charge of their future, because where we are, you cannot shy away from integrating or harnessing and addressing issues of technology as part and parcel of our transformation journey. Even if you hide your head in the sand, technology will catch up with you, whether in the area of education, health, agriculture. In order for us to be efficient and have better outcomes, we must embrace technology. And therefore, I am happy to be here as part of this conversation. I know my other colleagues in other countries, many of the countries are in a heated political season where we have elections. Maybe that's why some of my colleague ministers from other countries may not be here. Even us, we are in that season, but I had to ensure that I come so that we can have this discussion. So I want to thank the organizers. Thank you very much for inviting us. We are ready to share as much as we can. We are guided by a digital transformation roadmap in Uganda, which addresses key and essential areas in the digital transformation, including areas like digital infrastructure and connectivity. We are addressing issues of digital services, looking at e-government and automating service delivery in the country. We are looking at issues of cyber security, data protection and privacy. We are looking at the issues of digital skills and literacy in the country. We are looking at issues of innovation and entrepreneurship. How do we use ICT to create jobs and employment opportunities for the millions of young people that constitute our population in Uganda and many other areas. So the time we are here, we are ready to share as much information and our experiences as possible. But once again, I want to thank the government of South Sudan for the warm reception, for the cordial and brotherly relationship that we continue to enjoy between the government and the people of Uganda and the government and the people of South Sudan. And we are here to wish you progress and God's blessings. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
Maybe we can give better round of applause to Honorable Chris, the Minister of ICT, our brother from Republic of Uganda. Thank you so much for your scientific and biblical touching messages. This is the new technology that is emerging. Of course, honorable guests of honor, we cannot go on with this big function without making sure that the environment is safe enough for us to go through. With us, we're blessed to have an Inspector General of Police of Republic of South Sudan, General Abram Manyot is also here with us. General Abram, you're most welcome. I think your presence here matters most because our safety lies in your hands. Honorable Minister, I think with this juncture, we are privileged to have you on the podiums to share your official remarks. You are most welcome to make your remarks. I think join with us to welcome Honorable Minister, Honorable Michael Makweleth, the Minister of ICT, Republic of South Sudan, to share his experience on this field. You're most welcome, Honorable.
Okay, thank you very much, General Yao. Please be seated. Thank you very much, and I really appreciate your moderation. Thank you very much, my colleague and Minister Chris, for your and it seems that you must be from the same college of General Yao. Because you must have one time joined the church and did something, and thereafter you joined politics. Thank you very much for that, and I really appreciate it. Yes, we are on the run, but we must run carefully, because otherwise, if we just begin to run, we may fall and break down necks. Thank you very much. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, my colleague, the Minister of ICT and National Guidance in the Republic of Uganda, my colleague, the National Minister of Roads in the Republic of South Sudan, Deputy Ministers, colleagues, all the invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, all the participants, I greet you all in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. I'm also joining you there. On behalf of His Excellency, President Salva Kiir Mayardit, and on behalf of the people of the Republic of South Sudan, I welcome you all to this August meeting, conference, whereby we need to discuss, sit down, discuss, and shape our way forward. It is with great pleasure and privilege that I welcome you to Juba, the capital of the Republic of South Sudan. And in this capital, as you might have seen it, for those of you who have not been here, Juba is not the same Juba which people hear about. Because I'm sure there are so many people who have been talking. If you go to Juba, you drop at the airport, you may be killed at the airport because there is all the time a lot of shooting. There are a lot of things that are being said about Juba and about South Sudan. So your coming here to us is a privilege, and it is an opportunity for you to be our ambassadors and tell those people who talk over there that South Sudan is normal and Juba is normal and is peaceful. This is the most important part of the whole thing. So I welcome you to Juba for the first anniversary council and the 30th annual assemblies of the East African Communications Organization, EACO. South Sudan is the world's youngest nation And we will continue to be young as long as there is nobody born after us. Yes. Usually when you are the last born of the family, you continue to be the last born. And if nobody is born after you, even however old you become, nevertheless, people will refer to you as the young boy of the family. So we are the youngest nation of this world today. And I don't know if somebody will be born after us. We are not sure about that. But with the way things are happening, more may be born after us, so will not be the last born. South Sudan is the world's youngest nation with an appropriate population of 20 million. Up to now, we approximate that we are 12 million. Out of these 12 million, 70% are young people, being women or being girls or boys. 70% are young people. So we are a young nation. Because most of the elders died during the war, during the liberation struggle. And those who are left behind, those who are attending now, are the young generation that were born either during the liberation struggle or were so young during those days of the liberation struggle. So we are a young nation with young people, with a young population. Hosting this event underscores South Sudan's commitment to regional collaboration and aspiration to catch up with the region and the rest of the world together with you. Because we cannot catch up, as the minister told us, that we must be on the run. But we will not run alone as South Sudan. We will all run together. And as long as we run together, we will be in a position to catch up. So we will run together. And we make sure that we are at the forefront for an ICT development in East Africa. South Sudan active participation in EACO reflects our dedication to harmonizing ICT policies, regulations across the region. And this is by aligning our frameworks. And with this alignment, we aim to facilitate and seamless communication and foster innovation to ensure that our citizens reap the benefits of connected East Africa. South Sudan, being the youngest country and starting from nowhere, I'm pleased to report to you that we have made some modest achievements despite the common challenges. One of these common challenges is that South Sudan is a landlocked country. And being a landlocked country, then we'll definitely face a lot of difficulties in all aspects. Nevertheless, currently, the government of South Sudan is implementing the revised ICT policy of 2012 and the Digital Government Strategy 2023, South Sudan Digital Roadmap 2024, and now we are developing the South Sudan Digital Transformation Strategy. This is what we are developing now. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to announce to the Council that the assemblies that the government of the Republic of South Sudan is in partnership with the International Development Association. And this is in order to address the issue of being a landlocked country. We, with the International Development Association, IDA, and the World Bank Group, are implementing the national broadband backbone of South Sudan. we have signed an MOU with the Republic of Kenya to pull the fiber optic, the fiber cable from the border of Kenya to South Sudan. At present, we are connected with 2 cables from Uganda. These are the 2 companies that have been mentioned here. That is Moyo and Liquid. These are the 2 cables that were brought to us from Uganda, but they have stopped here in Juba. They have stopped here in Juba. They have not moved ahead. So we are still not connected. And the most expensive service that we are facing now is the ICT services, connectivity. So we have agreed with the World Bank to connect us also through Uganda, through Kenya, and this fiber optic will cover a distance of about 2,420 kilometers in South Sudan. So we'll be digging the whole of South Sudan. And it is only through connectivity that we'll be in a position to reduce the cost. Because ours at present is the most expensive. If you call now here in South Sudan and you call in Uganda or you call in Kenya, you will realize the difference. This is simply because we are landlocked. And if we are landlocked, then we need to be connected and see how best we can reduce the cost. So with that project will continue for the next 4 years. And as soon as we are connected, then we will be in a position to say, now we have connected our people. And this is will be the best investment that we have prepared and offer to the young generation, to the next coming generations, because as soon as they are connected, that is all. Not that only, but we are planning, because we are landlocked, we are planning to create South Sudan, to create a hub in South Sudan. We want to connect we have already connected with Uganda, we'll connect with Kenya, we'll connect with Ethiopia, with Sudan. And we'll cross this way through Congo to the Atlantic Ocean, so that we are sure and that we are properly connected, so that we can see how best we can get connected to the rest of the world. These are, of course, dreams that we have in mind, but we are optimistic that with time we'll be in a position to implement these policies. EACO's policy emphasis on capacity building resonates deeply with our national objectives through collaborative training programs and knowledge sharing initiatives. We anticipate empowering our youth and women, the workforce, enhancing technical expertise, and nurturing a culture of continuous learning with our ICT sector. We are cognizant that the digital technology today is a leading catalyst in the socio-economic development of nations and an enabler for the development of other fields. Dear participants, ladies and gentlemen, the government of the Republic of South Sudan reiterates its commitment to ensure commitment to continue and relentlessly work with our partners in the East African region, and we envision EACO evolving into a robust regional institution that sets standards and drives the digital transformation agenda across East Africa. South Sudan is committed to supporting this evolution, recognizing that a strong EACO is instrumental in achieving our collective digital ambitions. In conclusion, let this assembly be a catalyst for deeper cooperation, shared successes, and a unified digital future for East Africa and the African continent at large. I wish you well in your short stay here in Juba, while having fruitful deliberations and enjoying the view of the Nile. Some of you have been hearing about the Nile, but this is the Nile that runs from here up to Egypt. But most of it is with us here. And the most beautiful part of the Nile is with us here, not with those ones over there. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I declare your function officially open. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Michael McQuay, for those awesome remarks. And he also shared something that I think we all do share right now. We have been here for quite a very long time, and I know our bladders could also be full. We'll need to go and take some bites as well. Honorable Michael McQuay, we also like to say that as we take a short break instead, we also have the launch of the East African Framework and also the unveiling of the East African Regional Statistics, which we would like you and your delegation to be part of. So we acknowledge your request, and I think we are going to take this together. So please, we're going to have 10-15 minutes of a very short break so that we can all stretch out, and once we come back, we shall have the next two programs. But before we go, maybe we all can also, yes, let's have that. Let's have that. Thank you so very much.
As the media team comes forward for the photo, allow me to also recognize the presence of the Executive Director of the Ugandans Communications Commission, Honorable George William Nyombi Tembo, and I would also like to recognize the presence of the President of the ARPTC, which is the regulator of the Democratic Republic of Congo, and that is Mr. Christian Katende. Both of you are both welcome.
So the media team, please, if we can have a photo session with the delegates, and then later also we can have during the lunch. So I will ask that we have a photo session with the delegates. Yes, 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 yes.
Leading to the commercial launch in July 2022.
I just want to appreciate FPN a lot. We have never done such a training like this. Always they tell you to bring your thank MTN and I want to appreciate them because at the moment we have gained more skills on branding.
Yahoo and Nuswan Katir, whom Ligo Cat, whom Amalu member but at agent.
Can we have, yes?
Al-Fail, Wal Najah. So I
also request the heads of delegation, EACO chairperson, ED, EACO,
the money that comes into the bazaar,
and all our guests.
Then I just make the payment also out to the people that I seek their services to host the bazaar.
2023, despite the regulatory headwinds,
invited the guests
of the best mobile money platform for 2023.
Join our honorable minister on the stage for a group photo. DRC, Rwanda, Uganda, Burundi. Also, we take this moment to recognize the presence of the Executive Director of the National Bureau of Standards, who is here with us. Remember, in telecommunications, we have standards. May you kindly come forward and join. DRC, Karibuni, bonjour. Please join the Honorable Minister in this photo shoot. Please come. Our MNOs, the MNOs. Please, this is a great moment. Our honorable members of Assembly. Karibuni, karibuni sana. Please come. This is a great moment. The first telecommunication meeting, the EACO meeting in South Sudan. You can't miss out on this.
Uganda, Southern Sudan, and beyond. Running through the veins of economic hubs and even the remote areas, bringing world-class connectivity to businesses and homes alike. Whether it's the use of Liquid's digital services and connectivity that power the tech hub that Kenya has now become synonymous for, or the public-private partnerships with local government that helped Rwanda transform into an information technology-driven economy. Partnering with people in Uganda to ensure that our backbone infrastructure and digital services can help cater to the thirst that the locals have for indigenous local ICT expertise and innovation to ensure that their future is bright and promising. The deployment of Azure Stack hubs in Kenya and Tanzania makes in-country cloud computing possible for businesses running latency